Welcome to Brainy Empath, where we dive into the minds of those who feel everything but rarely show it. Have you ever looked perfectly calm on the outside while drowning inside? That's the life of a Sigma Empath. They walk through chaos with a steady face. They listen more than they speak. They feel more than they let on. And most of the world will never know the storm they carry in silence. This isn't about being cold or distant. It's about surviving in a world that doesn't understand emotional depth, a world that punishes vulnerability and rewards performance. In this video, we're going beneath the surface to reveal why Sigma Empaths seem unreadable, unshakable, even mysterious, when the truth is, they're simply protecting a heart that feels everything. If you've ever hidden your sensitivity behind a strong face, this is your space. Let's begin. Sigma Empaths don't need words to understand how someone feels. They walk into a room and feel the energy before anyone speaks. A subtle glance, a shift in tone, a quiet tension no one else notices. They catch it all. But you won't see it on their face. They won't call it out. They won't interrupt. Instead, they absorb it silently, deeply, completely. It's not about being shy. It's about being aware. So aware that even the slightest emotional flicker hits them like a wave. And while most people react out loud, Sigma Empaths retreat inward. They'll process your sadness while you smile. They'll feel your frustration before you even admit it. And through it all, they remain calm on the outside. Their sensitivity isn't loud. It's layered, internal, and deeply private. That's what makes them so powerful and so misunderstood. They feel everything, but you'd never know unless they let you in. Sigma Empaths didn't wake up one day and decide to hide their emotions. They learned it the hard way. They opened up once, maybe twice, and instead of being met with compassion, they were met with judgment, laughter, manipulation, silence. So, little by little, they started pulling back. They stopped sharing when they were hurting. They stopped crying in front of others. They stopped hoping someone might actually understand. Because the message they kept receiving was clear. Your feelings are too much. You're overreacting. Don't be so sensitive. So they built armor, not out of steel, but out of silence. Now they carry the same depth, but with locked doors and no welcome mat. Not because they don't want to feel safe again, but because they're not sure if that kind of safety exists. So they guard their heart, not out of pride, but out of protection. Sigma Empaths don't walk into a room to take up space. They walk in and feel the space. While others talk, perform, or demand attention, the Sigma Empath is scanning, quietly, intuitively, picking up what no one else sees. The forced laughter, the nervous glances, the sadness behind the smiles. They don't interrupt. They don't try to steer the energy, they just absorb it. It's exhausting, but it's natural to them. They carry other people's emotions like echoes in their chest, and instead of dumping it out on others, they carry it home, into silence, into solitude. That's where they unravel it alone, safely. You might think they're detached, but they're simply overloaded. You might think they're unaffected, but they're just processing too much at once. Sigma Empaths don't dominate energy, they receive it, and when the room gets too loud, they disappear, not to escape people, but to find themselves again. People often say, "You're so calm, nothing seems to bother you." But what they don't realize is that calmness is not peace, it's protection. Sigma Empaths have mastered the art of keeping their face still while their heart trembles. They've learned how to nod, smile, and carry on, even when something inside them is breaking. Why? Because life has taught them that showing emotion invites misunderstanding, that vulnerability can be used against them. So they learn to hide it well. They keep their storms hidden beneath a glassy surface, not because they're numb, but because they feel so much that expressing it all would drown them and overwhelm everyone else. That stillness you see, it's not emptiness, it's discipline. It's the quiet effort of holding it all together when everything inside is screaming. And that is their strength. Not coldness, not detachment, but calm in the chaos. Sigma Empaths can be drowning in emotion and still smile, nod, and say, I'm fine. Not because they're lying, but because they're protecting you. They've been told before that their pain is too much, that opening up makes things uncomfortable, that being vulnerable is a burden. So now, even when their heart is heavy, they stay silent. Even when they need someone to lean on, they choose to stand alone. Not because they're strong, but because they're afraid of being too much for the people they love. So they swallow the tears. They hold back the late night texts. They bottle the weight of it all and carry it like it's theirs alone to bear. What they long for most is someone who sees through the "I'm fine" and stays. Because deep down, they don't want to be saved. They just want to be safe to feel. Sigma empaths don't need long explanations, dramatic gestures, or emotional outbursts to understand someone's truth. They feel it in the pauses, in the shift of energy, in the way someone avoids eye contact or forces a smile. Their silence isn't awkward, it's awareness. It's the space where they observe everything that words try to hide. They've learned that people lie with charm. That tone can mask intention. So instead of reacting to what's said, they listen to what's unsaid. It's not about paranoia, it's about protection. Because their intuition has been right more times than they can count. And when they ignored it, they paid the price in heartbreak, betrayal, and disappointment. Now they sit quietly, not to disconnect, but to decode. They trust their gut before they trust words. And in that stillness, they often see the truth long before it ever reveals itself. You might think they're unaffected, unbothered, even distant. But don't be fooled by the quiet exterior. Sigma empaths feel everything, so deeply it echoes in their soul. When they love, it's not surface-level affection, it's devotion, presence, a sacred kind of loyalty. When they're hurt, it doesn't just sting, it lingers silently. They'll replay the moment, the words, the energy behind the words for days. And when they're joyful, even then, they don't always show it. Because their emotions aren't performative, they're private. They've learned that not everyone understands depth, so they protect theirs. They may sit still while their heart swells. They may smile gently while carrying invisible wounds. You'll rarely see the full storm, but if you look closely, you'll feel it in their presence. Because Sigma empaths don't just experience life, they absorb it, quietly, completely, and always. Deep. When a Sigma empath goes silent, people often assume they're detached, uninterested, or simply cold. But silence for them isn't the absence of emotion. It's the overflow of it. They've taken in too much, the tension in the room, the subtle disappointments, the unspoken grief of others, and now their system is overloaded. They retreat not because they have nothing to say, but because they don't know how to say it all without falling apart. Their silence is not a wall, it's a floodgate, closed, pressurized, waiting to feel safe enough to open. It's the weight of feeling too much and not knowing who can hold space for it. So they hide, in solitude, in stillness, not to run from connection, but to sort through the chaos inside them without breaking the people they love. Because sometimes, silence is the only language deep souls trust. If you've ever felt the weight of emotions you couldn't explain, or found yourself retreating just to breathe, then you're not alone. Tell me in the comments, which part of your silence do people misunderstand the most? Let's make the comment section a safe space for those who feel deeply but speak quietly. And if this video spoke to something inside you, hit that like button, subscribe to Brainy Empath, and share this with someone who needs to feel seen today. Your voice matters, even if it's soft.